Hi everyone, it's me, She. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching this. So I'm just going to go over some resin precautions and safety tips. When I started doing resin, it was 2019, I think it was, and it was before this massive boom, and there was very little information about the can-dos and the safety. Unless you really hunted, there wasn't a lot out there about it. So I thought I'd put together this video with some quick tips and just my personal experiences of what happened to me. Firstly, resin is really toxic before it's cured. If you get that stuff on your skin, you know that it's going to take a long time to get off, and anyone with any sort of skin conditions or allergies probably going to get a reaction. So I suffer from eczema, and resin really affects me. When I first started, I was doing it in my kitchen, no ventilation, no nothing, just on the side in the kitchen, messing around with the little Petri silicone molds and making Petri coasters. Yeah, that didn't go down too well, because after a while I ended up looking like this. My reaction after a couple of weeks of being exposed to those curing fumes actually hospitalised me. It affected my breathing, as you can see from those pictures. My skin just completely flared up, Hunchback of Notre Dame style. It was pretty bad. Since then, it's any little bit of resin that gets on my skin, it will immediately flare up and my eczema will start attacking it. And that's generally what happens. You can be completely fine at first with resin, and then after repeated exposure to those fumes that are released while resin cures, your body becomes more sensitive and you're more likely to react. So what can we do to reduce those? First of all, work in a ventilated area. Ventilation is key, people. We need to make sure those fumes are far away from us as possible. You're not doing it around children or animals or vulnerable people, anything like that. I moved my stuff out of the kitchen, and I now have an area set up in my garage, which means I can open the front door and it's completely open in the air. To reduce that contact with those fumes. You can actually see it sometimes when the resin's curing. You'll be able to see that little like smoky stuff coming out of it. that is the chemical reaction taking place, and those are the things that are going to cause allergic reactions to epoxy resin. Once resin is fully cured, then it is fine. You're not going to get a contact allergy from it, or most people won't anyway. Okay, so ventilation first. Secondly, you need to protect yourselves. Get one of these. You need a respirator. Protect your lungs, protect your eyes. If you don't get a full face one, then please get safety goggles to go with it, because resin in the eye it has the possibility to blind you, and why risk it? You always think, yeah, it's never going to happen to me. I was one of them. I'm not going to react to resin. And it happens. So please protect yourself. Get a respirator. So the one I have, I got this off Amazon, and it's pretty decent. These cartridges here are replaceable. You need to check your filters to make sure they are still working. There's no point wearing a respirator if it's not actually protecting you from the fumes. So it's good to check your equipment now and again, make sure that they are still working. Yes, it's hot and sweaty in summer, but it's better than ending up in A&E. Secondly, protect your skin. Gloves. You need to get these nitrile gloves. Because of my reaction, I need to double glove, because even if I just wear one pair, the resin somehow still manages to affect my skin. So I found that I need to double glove. So always double glove. If you laughed, then you're my kind of people. Always double glove. It's just good practice. There are silicone gloves out there on the market, but the issue with them is that if you're switching between colours, or you're mixing different sort of projects at the same time, and you only have one pair of silicone gloves, then you have that cross-contamination. You might drop colour into the clear and vice versa. You have to wait until it dries before you can peel the resin off those silicone gloves. I just find it easier to work with these nitrile ones, double glove, happy days. Okay, also on protecting the skin, we need to make sure that we are covered. So wear clothing that's suitable. If you drop resin on your clothes, as I did in the beginning, you end up with a really crusty shirt. I had to just quickly cut that because I needed to show you this. I decided to wear one of my favourite tops to do resin. Stupid me. My Jurassic Park one. But look what happened. It now permanently looks like this, like it's been in a teenage boy's room and they couldn't find a box of tissues. Yeah, it's not nice. Look, it's even like crunchy and everything. It's really gross. Apart from the gross factor and the fact that that is now ruined and I can never wear this, and I've only kept it because I love it, and in some part of my brain I'm telling myself I'm going to do something with that t-shirt at some point. I'm sure I will. But it was a good thing to show you as well. So what happened then, the resin has dropped on me, it seeped through, and I've ended up with a huge resin rash all across my stomach because it seeped straight through the material, gone onto my stomach, and obviously you can't get that off very easily. I've soaked water, scrubbed at it, trying to get that resin off, but it still reacted and I've ended up with a huge rash. So please make sure you're wearing suitable clothing. You can get those big like rubber overall plastic apron things. Great. I used to wear a dust suit also. I could pretend that I was walking into like a scene of crime and be like one of those scenes of crimes examiners and be like, yeah, with my dust mask and just basically looking like a twat, but it made me feel cool, so whatever. Anyway, let's move on from there, shall we? We've done the goggles. Yes. Containers. When you're mixing resin, make sure that you have designated resin only apparatus. So a load of resin molds can be used for baking as well. Please do not use resin and then use those same molds to bake someone a cake. It won't go down well. It's contaminated. Once resin has gone onto something, you cannot use it on something else. So keep molds and equipment separate. Do not cross-contaminate. Only use resin for resin stuff. Only use baking for baking stuff. Jesmonite, whatever. Just keep them separate. You can also get like silicone mixing cups. Those are really, really good. Absolutely great to reuse and reuse over and over again. Eventually they do go really white and you have to get new ones, but that's just the way it is. As you'll see from my videos, I tend to get the little paper ice cream tubs, and I just keep reusing them and reusing them because they will dry overnight, and then the next day I'll just reuse them with new resin, and it works fine. I have them on rotation if it's a slower curing resin. Once it's dry, I'll use that just to try and reduce waste. On that, there is no eco-friendly resin. It does not exist. It is a plastic. It will not biodegrade. The resin that's sold as eco resin is not eco-friendly. It just means it uses a different process to create it than the standard epoxy resin. It still cannot be broken down. It will still take hundreds of years and will end up in landfill. Therefore, we have to try and reduce our waste while we're creating. So do what you can. I've got lots of handy tips and things that I will be showing you of how to reduce your waste, such as the reusing your cups over and over again. And if you have we all have the accident box, the poo-poo box, full of stuff that's gone wrong. We can reuse them, we can change them into something else. The idea with resin is that we're creating things for people and they will keep them, not that they'll just throw them away. So let's try and reduce our waste with that. Yeah. Mask, yes. So a question I got asked is, do I have to wear a mask when I'm sanding? Absolutely yes. Okay, it's really, really important that you either use your respirator or a dust mask with goggles while sanding. When you're sanding it, getting all those those dust particles off your resin piece, making it look lovely and shiny. However, it's easy to breathe them in. They damage your lungs. Yes, you won't see it at first. Like with everything, it takes time to build up. It builds up and it will damage you. Please protect yourself. It is not worth your health. Nothing is worth damaging your health. So let's do this safely. Those are my beginner safety tips for you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. I hope you've enjoyed the video and I didn't waffle too long. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks guys. Bye.